Today we're going to talk about the schedule in SBK and how you can edit your appointments, view uncompleted appointments, create an appointment, add customers, employees, set recurring appointments and reminders, different date views, and how you can edit multiple schedules including other users. To start with SBK, you'll see you have main toggle buttons across the top, and today we're going to be looking at schedule. Once you've clicked on the schedule, you have a number of different views you can look at for your schedule and the appointments you have. We have a daily view, which you see now, which gives you hour by hour, a 7-day view, a 14-day, a monthly view, and a day list. Now, day list is particularly my favorite because it also breaks it down by half-hour block, and you'll see that when you have more than one appointment overlapping, for example, when you have a 9 to 9:30 appointment and then a 9:30 or probably a 9:15 reminder for another appointment, they overlap and you won't be able to see that. But with the day list, you are able to see every appointment that is blocked within that specified amount of time. It lists them on each row, and we'll go into that in just a moment. Creating an appointment from your schedule is pretty quick and easy. The only thing you have to do here is double-click on the appointment time you'd like to have. So, for example, I need to set a meeting to talk to one of our customers on November 20th at 4 p.m. In this case, we're going to utilize the date window over here. I'm able to select dates in the future, dates in the past, and at any point in time, click this red circle here and get back to today's date. So I'm going to navigate to the 20th, and I'm going to double-click on the 4 p.m. slot. This is going to bring up my appointment editor. I'm going to name the appointment. I'm going to select my appointment type, which is in this case is going to be a follow-up. My start date is November 20th. The time is 4 o'clock, and it's going to end at approximately 4:30. You also see you have some tabs in this window. I can add specific notes to this appointment, and this is a very important tab here is attendance. Attendance is what account in the system is going to be attending this meeting. So, for example, you'll notice my title is Old Line Bank phone call. Old Line Bank is one of our customers, and we're going to have them added to this appointment, so this way my communications, my notes, and the appointment will show up on their contact records in SBK. If there is no attendee attached here, and you complete an appointment, and you complete it with notes of what happened in the meeting, and you hit save, it will go nowhere. It does not attach to the customer, and then the customer has no record, if you were to pull this up, of the appointment happening. So in that case, we're going to add new attendee. I'm going to search for Old Line Bank. And I'm going to expand this column a little bit so I can see exactly what I'm looking at here. And I see sales account for Old Line Bank. And I'm going to double click and add that. Great, now they're showing up there and they're good to go. They will be added to the appointment. I can add an item to the agenda, and I can also attach a document if there's something I want to review here that I can pull up in SBK. Now let's get back to the Information tab. Okay, so if I want to set a reminder for this appointment, I'm going to select Remind Me On, and I'm going to choose the date of the 19th. I want to be reminded on the 19th at 12 p.m. This will now come up when you have SBK open, that a reminder for an appointment for Old Line Bank at that date and time. Now I want to have Steven join me on this appointment, so how can I make sure he knows about this appointment in his SBK? I'm going to add an employee. Once I click Add an Employee, I'm going to look for Steven Meyer in this list. I find him, I click Finish, and he is now added as an attendee. You will see me in here twice. Now you may be asking, why is that? I'm in here twice because of one reason. I am the current user who is opening and editing this appointment, so I am as if a ghost looking at this right now, and I'm also in there as a second time because I am attached to the appointment. So for example, if Barb Vivaldi were to be in this appointment right now, it would say B. Vivaldi, Sean Marat, and Stephen Meyer. Although she may not be attached, it shows her as an employee at this appointment while she has the appointment editor open. Off to the right here, you'll see I can have some notes, and I can say, we will be discussing MPS in the new year. So now when I open up this appointment and review it and Steven opens it up, he knows the basic subject of the appointment we're going to be having. We have some buttons up here that we want to look at. We see that I can click this to Group Document Manager, where I can have special documents that are stored on the server that we can add to the appointment. And I can also set this up to be a recurring appointment. In this case, we may not want to do that because it's only going to happen once. But let's say if I want to meet with Old Line Bank each week, I can set it up for a weekly occurrence every week on a Friday, and it's going to start right now on the 20th, and it's going to end after X amount of occurrences or a certain date or have no end date at all. And once you save a recurrence, well, it looks like in this case that I'm going to need a certain type of end date. So we're going to say we're going to end by 2014. I'm going to have 1 year of recurring appointments. You'll have to give it just a minute because what it's doing now is it's adding 52 appointments to my schedule. And now you see a yellow highlight that this appointment is recurring. To save this appointment and be completely done with it on your calendar, you would hit this Save button. Once you've hit Save, it is attached to the calendar, and it is now, you'll see it visible in the day list. I'm on daily right now. We're going to switch back to day list and check this out. So let's say the 20th is now over, the appointment is completed. We can open this up, complete this appointment with this big button here. Once you complete the appointment, it's going to bring up a communication recorder, and this is where you would record the specific notes that took place in this meeting. And we can say it's an account update. Debbie was very open to the idea of MPS. We will follow up in 1 month. This is the date that I'm choosing to make this note, which is the 20th at 4:30 p.m. And then I have some buttons here: send a follow-up email, schedule a follow-up appointment, enter an additional communication, or enter a copy for each attendee. And attendee is always going to be defaultly checked, because when Steven goes to look this up in his SBK, we're going to want to make sure he sees that communication note. But since I show that we're going to be following up with Debbie in 1 month, I'm going to select schedule a follow-up appointment. When I hit complete, you'll see that I have a new appointment editor come up, and I can repeat that process, and you'll have a follow-up for the Old Line Bank phone call, and I can schedule it for 1 month from then, which would now be December 20th, and we'll do it at 4 p.m. And I can save that process and repeat. Now let's say on December 20th, I'm not sure if Steven's going to be able to join me. How would I know if he is going to have availability that day? You'll see we have some tabs over to the left here, or pardon me, to the right side of the screen, that have users, options, and full screen. The display is going to show our calendar. Users is going to show every single user we currently have in SBK. And if I want to look at Steven's calendar, I'm going to look under the Executives, select Stephen Meyer. My name will also be selected here. And a good way to always view someone's calendar when you're doing side-by-side comparisons is change your view list. Because right now day list is only going to show a daily view, but I want to show a 14-day view or a 7-day view. And I see that right now he doesn't have anything planned on the 20th, but we're looking for December 20th to match that follow-up appointment. We will select then. I see that Friday, December 20th, he does have a follow-up interview with Darius, and then we also have that appointment you see scheduled at 4 o'clock. Now, why is that not showing up under his name? Let's open that appointment and see why. You will see that occasionally his name was there in the employee section, But because we're going to be on what's called local synchronization with SBK, my computer will have to sync before it sees it on his calendar. Just like you will if you're in Western Pennsylvania or if you have a laptop, SBK syncs to the server every 30 minutes with a syncing function. If you're currently hardwired in at the Smart Office Services headquarters in Baltimore, you do not do that syncing service. If you need to sync and you see there's data that may be lagging behind, you can use this button up here to sync and hit start. Once you hit start, the sync window will appear and you'll see that from the remote location to the server, we'll begin to sync data. And we'll minimize that for now. There is one other function here that we want to take a look at, and it's the ability to see your schedule as a whole. And it's unique because you're able to see get organized with appointments you have completed and appointments you have uncompleted. Because we didn't go over these two tabs here off to the right, which was Edit List and Tasks. Edit List is going to show us appointments that we have completed and uncompleted for the different users that we have selected. So right now I'm looking at Steven and I'm looking at myself for October 31st through November 7th. These are the appointments we currently have active, and these are the appointments we currently have completed during that date range. You can export that list and print that list, which gives you a full view of what you have uncompleted and what you have completed for a specific date range, which can be very useful for staying organized. You also have options here when you're looking at your calendar to show not only just appointments, but also task times. When you have specific tasks that you have assigned to yourself, you can make new projects that are not only appointments, but different tasks you have to complete. And then finally, the tab to the right here is full screen. Pretty simple. It gives you the full screen view and takes away that right sidebar. To bring that back, select any of the above tabs, be Display, Users, or Options. That covers the SBK schedule review. If you have any questions, please contact me. I'd be happy to help you. Thank you very much for listening.